Candace Owens and Kimberly Klacik are engaged in an epic feud right now. But really, it's more than a feud. This is more than a beef. This is more than just drama. This is getting serious. Correction. This has gotten serious. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. And be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to talk about how this is much bigger than just Candace Owens and Kimberly Klacik. So let's get into it. Kimberly Klacik is a fairly newer face on the scene. Last year she had a campaign video, campaign ad that went super viral. It was her in a red dress walking down Baltimore streets, and she's talking about, and it's a blighted street. It's in disarray. And she's talking about how basically this is what has become of the city, and boom, you need to elect her so that you can change the conditions of the city. So that's what Kimberly Klacik is. Candace Owens, as you know, she's a really big figure. She was formerly with TPUSA, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. And once Kanye decided to basically endorse her and vouch for her, she really blew up. So last week, they started getting into it on Twitter. And there's a couple of tweets. And so now there are people who may have seen Candace's live, and her description seems to be saying that this started because Kimberly Klacik was telling her that she needs to be using her show, her Daily Wire show, and bringing Black people on. And it started before that. So let me give you some context. So before they got to that point of talking about the show, here's one of the things Kimberly Klacik tweeted at Kim. Here's one of the things Kimberly Klacik tweeted at Candace. And she's quote tweeting Candace. Candace's tweet was, "Sometimes I wonder when, if ever, Black America will wake up to the psychological warfare and perpetual brainwash to believe everything is racist." That's Candace's tweet. Kim quote tweeted Candace and responded, "Believe it or not, many in Black America are very aware the fight is classism rather than racism. Unfortunately, the loudest mouths with the largest platforms misrepresent the majority. This may come as a shock to you because of your lack of engagement with Black people." That was at 10:17 a.m. on Friday morning. At 10:23, somebody is responding, saying, "Is Candace's lack of engagement with Black people, if it's even real, her fault?" Kim responds, "Yes, there is a total disconnect here, and I've had enough. She talks about Black people constantly, but never talks to Black people. She has a show and a platform where she could bring in guests from underserved communities. It's absolutely on her." So you see, one of the things I noticed that Candace left out of her description was not just that Kim was saying, "Oh, you should bring people on." It was about how she speaks about Black people, because she spends a lot of time talking about Black people. And there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, why you have to separate everything by race?" And I'm like, okay, tell that to Candace. But let's get back to the story. So Candace didn't like any of this, and Candace took offense. Candace started calling her out, saying, "Hey, well, what have you done? I formed Blexit, and, Blexit is helping." And at one point, Kim talks about how, wait a minute, you had to call me to bring Black people to one of your Blexit events because you didn't have enough Black people. Candace says, "Oh, well, that's not true. I just called you because I wanted you to speak at it, and you didn't even show up." Ultimately, this back and forth continues. Candace starts asking questions about, well, what are you doing? And it gets into talking about a charity that Kim used to run. And then Candace starts making statements about, well, hey, let me look into your charity then. Let me see if you've actually helped as many people as you've said you helped. Ultimately, on Monday, a couple of things happened. Candace, apparently earlier in the day, states that, "Oh, I've got something big. This is going to be huge. Tune into my Instagram live later on in the day." Brandon Tatum goes on, puts on a video talking about, "Oh yeah, this is big. And I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to let Candace do it because we got to make sure everything is well researched." And boom. So he he doesn't really provide any information, but he makes it clear he's Team Candace. Of course, you know he's Team Candace. That's her right hand. And Corinne Tatum, also, who is Brandon's wife, also is involved and is tweeting, well, actually putting things on Instagram, talking about how, basically criticizing Kim. And between the three of them, they're talking about, Kim is a failed candidate, that that for all of her money that she raised, she didn't get enough of the vote as she should have. One of the things that's also said at some point is that, well, why are you even running in these districts? And Kim is like, Kim and others are like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to run in districts. You're trying to turn districts that you don't have. The Democrats are doing it. We as the Republicans need to do it. This is what, they're saying. Ultimately, it comes down to Candace going on Instagram Live and for about 45 minutes going into a story, stories. Well, yeah, so it's a long story about Kim Klacik, about her past, allegations that Kim used to be a stripper, allegations that Kim was smoking, was doing cocaine with, I guess, in the strip club with campaign money, allegations and or insinuations that Kim was doing stuff like basically embezzling campaign money. And aside from, the cocaine story, like allegations and or insinuations that that she's in there, that there's money that was taken out and given to companies that are only exist on paper. And so she's doing all this, and she even mentions at one point, yes, these are federal crimes we're talking about. And, she tells, her followers, so she's telling them what the information is, the name of Kim's charity, the, telling them where they could look up the FEC documents on her campaign and saying, yeah, look into it, and it occurs to me that if you were aware of Kim Klacik committing federal crimes, would you go to the cops or Instagram Live? I'm just curious because that's what jumped into my mind. But okay, let's get back to the story. You see, because what, among other things, Candace at various times says, oh, well, I don't have evidence of this, or I don't have proof of this, or allegedly. So she's doing a lot of hedging, and I'm just thinking, she's asking a lot of questions that, that wouldn't, in a court of law, these would be considered at the very least leading questions, because she's establishing a conclusion within the question. So there's, I looked at the Instagram Live story today. It's got over 1 million views. So there's a lot of people that are watching this that aren't going to be concerned with nuance. And if you look on the internet, you can see a lot of people are just running with this because Candace told them that this is what the deal is. And another thing Candace said was, Candace says, oh yeah, I'm doing this on Instagram because we had to have everything straight first. So yeah, I wasn't gonna be ready for my show. And I'm like, is that what happened? Is it that you didn't have enough time to get it ready for your show? Or did the Daily Wire said, we're not having any part with that foolishness? Is that what happened? Because I'm curious. I'm curious whether or not the Daily Wire said, you are not getting us caught up in this bull. That's my question. That's just a question. Because it seems kind of interesting that you're doing this on Instagram Live when you have a television show that you could be presenting this information on, but you're choosing to do it on Instagram Live. Okay, but that's just me. Of course, the vast majority of Candace's followers aren't asking any of these questions. They're not asking, wait a minute, you did go to the authorities with this information, correct? I haven't seen them ask you this question. They're just running with it. And apparently you've got a bunch of her followers who are actually conducting their own investigations. Okay. That being said, on Tuesday, I believe it was, Kim's lawyers, of course, because at this point you had to realize lawyers were going to be getting involved. Kim's lawyers issued a statement, and I'm going to read that statement. Ms. Owens' allegations against Kim Klacik are offensive, false, and defamatory. Notably, Ms. Owens has failed to provide any factual evidence to support the outrageous claims made in her video. Our attorneys are currently reviewing our legal options against Ms. Owens and the Daily Wire. Today, Kim Klacik actually put out another statement of her own. Let me just pull up that statement. Kim Klacik's statement that she actually tweeted out was, "A few people are asking about a video that was put out by an influencer. She has falsely accused me, private citizens, and businesses of federal crimes, so I would like this to play out in court rather than social media. This journalist with zero credentials has no clue on the cost of a campaign and is trying to school folks on something she knows nothing about. Using phrases like, I think, allegedly, I can't verify are important in this matter. As a vocal conservative leader, I am used to being attacked by those who disagree with my views. If this fictional story was just about me, I could have already responded with detail. But this social media star has crossed the line when she made false allegations with malicious intent against hard-working small business owners who perform significant work for my campaign, and she will be held accountable. Keep in mind, I am not under investigation and never have been. To the internet detectives and lawyers, I am taking advice from actual lawyers. I still have obligations as far as appearances in media that I will continue to meet. Nothing has been canceled because, again, I have done nothing wrong." This is the statement from Kim Klacik. And I just have to point out that because people are saying, okay, yes, but there's something there, there's smoke there, there might be some evidence there. And I'm like, well, then Candace Owens should probably shut the hell up until she has actual evidence. In fact, Candace Owens probably shouldn't be doing the investigation. Candace Owens, if she believes that something is awry and that she's found certain improprieties, she probably should have, if she feels that this is something that needs to be addressed, she probably should have handed that information over to the proper authorities and then shut the hell up. Because if she handed that information over to the authorities and then proceeded to go on Instagram Live, can you say obstruction of justice? But that's the funny part, because you have so many people that have such blind faith in Candace Owens that they are running with this, that they are saying, oh, Candace said it, it must be true, and doing no critical thinking at all, conducting no logical analysis at all of this situation. But like I said, this is bigger than just Candace and Kim. And you may say it's bigger because, oh yeah, she's got other business involved. No, this is bigger than Candace and Kim because it didn't start with Candace and Kim. What's happening here is part of a larger conservative, black conservative civil war. This war has been going on for some time, not completely outside of the public eye, but not very, visibly to the public. So if you're following certain people, you would have been aware of what is going on. And what's interesting is that today, I think something else is about to happen. And this is one of the reasons why I'm making this video now, because I'm not sure what's going to come of the latest issue. So apparently, I think Maj Toure is going to be appearing on Candace's show. I think. He already did Alex Jones earlier today. I saw some of that. But he tweeted out that he's doing Owens' show. I'm assuming he means Candace Owens. But we'll deal with that information if more information comes out. And you'll say, okay, because Maj Toure is one of the individuals involved in this civil war. And I'll be doing a video about the origins of the civil war, what it's about, because if you've listened to somebody like a Tatum, he would tell you that, oh, it's because people are jealous that me and Candace are so popular. That's not what it's about. But what I do encourage everyone to do, if you believe Candace, if you think Candace is telling the truth and Kimberly Klacik is a criminal, because Candace said it, if you believe it, I want you to ask Candace a question. Ask Candace if she's provided this information to the authorities. Please do me that favor. Additionally, if you think that Kimberly Klacik is guilty of this, ask yourself, what evidence have you personally seen to support your beliefs that Kimberly Klacik is guilty of committing federal crimes. As always, if you like what I'm talking about, if you like talking about somebody who's willing to deal with the issues and actually conduct some kind of critical analysis with some independent thought, as opposed to just blindly following somebody, then please, by all means, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and share this. If you think that I'm wrong because I am I am not falling in line with what your supreme leader Candace says, by all means, give me a thumbs down, and feel free to say why in the comment section so I can address your critiques, your criticisms of me, of my analysis, of my channel, of the fact that you're just jealous because you're not as big as her. If that's what you feel, by all means, put it in the comment section. And like I said, I'll address anything that you want to write, either in the comment section or in a future video. I'll see you next time.